How do? Beautiful morning, nice and cool. Let's get straight into it. Double child murderer Colin Pitchfork, due to be released from prison. So, firstly, let's just talk about murder. The least in my time as a prison officer I saw anyone receive prison sentence was 18 months for murder. That person would have a life license. I will talk at the end of this video about Pitchfork, about why that lad received 18 months. Very tragic tale. However, 18 months to whole of life. Mark Bridger, horrible, nasty thing, received whole of life. Whole of life means you're never getting out. Life sentence doesn't mean you are never getting out. However, you know, not just because I've been a prison officer. I'd like to think that somebody that's killed 2 children and there was a nasty sexual element to it was never getting out. But here's the thing, people like Pitchfork, when they go in prison, double murder of 2 young lasses and rape. Their prison journey, their prison career, if you want to call it, is very different to someone who is on normal location. As a vulnerable prisoner, you are kept separate from other prisoners. You move to education. Sometimes the best jobs are given to these people, and I'll tell you for why. It's like-minded people together, sex offenders, child murderers and the like. It's like-minded people together, so their community is quite quiet. In prison, it will be seen as, by me, as a boring job. Not a lot happening. I personally won't want to be interacting with these people. So, in order to get out and meet the criteria of a parole board and these various sentences, again, it's very complicated. Whole of life, for instance, I would like to think that someone who killed 2 kids with the horrible sexual element will be doing whole of life. There is criteria for whole of life. You know, if you don't meet them criteria, then you may well get a parole sentence. So his initial release, it was said he had, moved on. The language he used, he had, completed coursework satisfactorily. Again, there is no coursework. Nothing that they're doing in prison, no courses that reform people, for want of a better word. It's tick box exercises, programs, coursework. It's basically bullshit. It's putting something in place for people to work to, and that's it. There's nothing else, no other element to it. It serves no purpose other than, like I say, meeting criteria. I know people who delivered coursework and they tell you the same. Again, probably the biggest con on the planet was the SOTP, Sex Offenders Treatment Programme. Not treating nobody like that. Far more intelligent people than me will tell you, you don't reform these people. Tick boxes, But he got released, and then he got breached. So a breach is simply terms and conditions. When he released, he was deemed to have broken them. Now again, the Parole Board talking about this, Pitchfork, why they're going to release him again. They don't feel that maybe the breach, the reason he was sent back to prison, was appropriate, or it was looked at properly, or whatever. For me, again, through experience, a double child killer, rapist, just looks at someone the wrong way. I'm locking them back up and throwing away the key. Again, very small minority of the population will say, no, we can't do that. Prison system's cruel. They don't want people locking up for long periods of time. Lock the worst up for longer, and let's look at the others, how we deal with short term, But the real sort of creatures, let's lock them away forever. But he's up again. He's getting out again. They cited his age. He's 63, just a bit older than me. Saying, in time, they're sort of suggesting age, etc. you change. Really? I just find it all disgusting. And here's the thing about the Parole Board when you're reading about him. Pinned comment, I'll put an article where the Parole Board are talking about Pitchfork. Yeah, these lads I know who've been breached. You know, they were on parole sentences, not long sentences. They've been breached for literally looking at someone wrong, being late for an appointment, not getting on with their probation officer. There's a lad now who's been in well over 12 months, 35-year addiction, heroin addict, childhood trauma. He was locked back up because he took heroin. Not because he took heroin, because he told his probation officer he'd taken it. At the time I said, do you think that's a good idea? Yes, I trust him. So he's out of prison. He's on quite a strict license. He uses heroin. Yeah, he's never had his childhood trauma addressed. You know, he's never worked his way through it. He uses heroin, he has a slip up, and bang, he's back inside. Yeah. Not getting on with people in probation officers. Not getting on with people in hostels. There's a hostel in Bury. Yeah, everyone who was sent there used to get breached. Bail hostel. Horrible places. Yeah. There's temptation all around you in them places for addicts, alcoholics and the like. You know, if someone's an alcoholic saying if you have a drink we're going to send you back to prison, you know. Anyway, let's get back on it. So what I'm telling you about the Parole Board, the language used around him, I find it offensive. Yeah. It doesn't matter why he was sent back. If he looked at a child or a woman in the wrong way, send him back and throw away the key, but he's going to be out again. He's got another chance. I just find it all very wrong, especially knowing the reason some lads are being breached and sent back to prison. Very, very wrong. So let's talk about the lad who got 18 months, an 18-month life sentence. Yeah, so when I met the lad, very young, 18. He'd been out drunk, yeah, and someone had asked him for a cigarette. Never been in trouble before. Someone asked him for a cigarette. They got into an argument. They were both drunk. They were both carrying knives. Yeah. It turned into an argument. The argument turned into a fight. And they stabbed each other. One tragically died. The other lad almost died. Yeah. So when it went to court, everything taken into account, he was given an 18-month sentence. Now, the lad who died's family might have seen that, you know, as an injustice or whatever. I can see why he received such a low sentence. However, he has got a life license. So that's a lifetime of looking over his shoulder, etc., etc. Like I said, very, very complicated. The criteria around whole of life for me needs changing. You know, like I said, the most serious offenders, the worst, let's lock them up for longer. And other people, let's look what we're doing, particularly with addicts and the like, short sentences. We know they don't do anything, they're keeping the prisons full. And me, right now, people who are going to court who deserve prison are walking away. They're walking away from prison. See, a criteria for sentencing and court shouldn't be how full our prisons are. Let's have a look today. Are the prisons full? Yeah. Okay, I've got somebody in here for kicking a pregnant woman, punching his own child in the face. But prisons are full, so he can walk away from court with a big smirk on his face. Yeah, fuck right off. Right, guys. Stephen, parting shot as always. Thanks for your continued support. Zach, hope you're getting better. Keith, Sarah, Nick, we'll be meeting up soon. Stephen, parting shot. Hope you have the best weekend possible, guys. Thanks for coming. Al City.